Pastor Curry, pastor of the Zion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya and anything you can do about it. I know every time we come on, you hear me say I'm excited, but today I'm super excited because finally we were able to trap down and pull down and push down and allow her to come and be on the show. And I'm looking forward to having a conversation with Miss Tiffany Chalk. Yeah, many of you know her. She's a Delawarean. She has a successful business, and now she has even added to her business. And I think it's going to be a great conversation, great motivation. So I want you to go call somebody. Call them right away and tell them that Coffee with Curry is on, and let's get after it.
So these are spicy smoky wings. They've got the smoked peach jam in there, so that's where the smokiness comes from, and then there's some mint and peanuts on top.
I'm an entrepreneur just like you guys.
To even be an entrepreneur is like a dream for most of the people that I grew up with.
I know when I told my mother that I was leaving to start my own company, obviously we have other things that are coming as going to be a priority as well. But she just couldn't fathom the idea of that. Once you reach a certain ceiling that they're like, we didn't even know that existed. And now you want to go beyond that, it's scary.
Friends and family say, hey, why don't you just go for the safer route so we know you're safe?
What's the safe route?
Safe route is forget about your dreams and just live your life as, quote unquote, like a normal person. Don't spend that extra time killing yourself trying to build your dream.
I know those stresses, and that's what works me up, you know, that's what gets me fired up to just have fellowship around that and make sure that we're a support network for each other. And, you know, if you look like how we look, you know, we don't come from communities where we have that kind of infrastructure in place.
For me, the biggest driver is just being creative and having people around you that support you. I feel like if you have the two of those, you can make up any type of company that you want.
Ash, what do you feel hearing this? It's interesting to me to see who it is that you and Don surround yourselves with. It's all entrepreneurs, it's all people, you know, going out there trying to get it.
You know, this is why when you said I'm not grinding, I was like, what are you talking about? Because these are my friends, you know? All of these people are telling you that this is what they do.
Yeah.
You know, they live it. This guy just left his job and his wife is having a baby and he's like, doesn't matter.
Does that
like,
pump you up?
Yeah, because we're over here like, how are they doing it? Like, you know, but that's inspiring. Like, so for me, it's just like, I'm not gonna stop until this happens. Like, I need to be sitting right here with all of them telling my story, right?
Back. Well, as I share with you all, we got the legendary Woman of the Year with us today, and I'm so excited, Tiffany, to have you with us today. We searched far and long to get you, not because you were hiding, but because you're just that busy and you're good at what you do. Welcome to our show.
Thank you so much. I'm just superly excited to be here as well. So thank you for having me. I know it was a little struggle with my schedule, but we worked it out, so we're here now.
That's right, and that's all that matters.
Yes.
Tiffany, I've known you for a couple years now, and the first time I really got to know you was when you were doing something with Duffy Hope, and I just asked him, who is that person?
Right.
You were everywhere making stuff happening, and is that who you are just normally?
Yeah, giving back to the community is really important to me. So love the work that I did through the Duffy Soap organization and the celebrity games and the ambassador program. So I've just really, like, I don't want to say a mover and a shaker, but, you know, just not in the entrepreneurial realm, in the scope of philanthropy and giving back is really important to me and is near and dear to my heart.
And that's one of the reasons why I was very much interested in bringing you on the show, because it's more than the dollar. And that's where I first met you, doing a give back, and I think that's so important.
Yes.
Let's start off today by just talking a little bit about family, because I know with all the work you do, and you still have a successful family. So let's talk about husband and children for just a few moments. Let's hear that
So
about
that's
that.
good. So my husband is James. I always say there would not be a Tiffany Chalk events, or Tiffany Chalk would not be able to do what she does so gracefully if I didn't have the support of James Chalk, my husband, and my family. They really push me, inspire me, so into my business, which it makes it easier to kind of do what I do. So I will be celebrating 19 years of marriage in next month.
Wow.
Yes. And we have 4 lovely children. We are empty nesters, so we enjoy our time together.
Oh, empty nesters, okay.
Yes. But it's a family business. When it's time to set up and break down, you might find my husband, you might see my son, a nephew or anything like that. I'm really into, bringing in my family to be a part of my business, because as we unify together as a family, and as the business grows, it grows and helps generate revenue for all of us.
Of your children, which one take after you?
I would say Alec, my son AJ. It's funny, his personality, he's very much of a planner and very detail oriented, even to be a man, Well,
I'm that way too, so that's not bad. That's a good thing.
So he definitely gets that from me, and it's funny because sometimes he's like, sometimes Mom, we might bump heads a little because we're so much alike.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now tell me, you have 4 children, you said.
Yes.
You have ages, can you remember those?
So the age range is from 25 to 29.
To 29.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Oldest being 29.
That's interesting. I'm thinking you're about 30, and you mean you was 2 when you had a child?
I actually just celebrated 51 last
wow.
Saturday. So we both are August babies, I hear.
Excellent. Yes. Excellent. Well, that's awesome. So you have Alex, who's really the one who's just like you.
Yes.
Which one is like the hubby?
I would say Junior, which is James Jr. They look alike, they act alike, the mannerism is alike. It's it's kind of funny, when you see the genetic thing go from generation to generation. So yes, I definitely would say that.
So you have 4 boys, or you have
3 boys, 1 girl.
And 1 girl. So how is the girl doing? Where does she fit in that?
She's only female in the crew, right?
Okay.
So she's, I would say, the pampered one.
Okay.
Yes, I definitely would say that.
So let's talk about Tiffany, the child. Parents. Let's go that far back. How was Tiffany as a child?
I would say my mother probably, and my father, God rest his soul, that I was a good child, right?
Okay.
And it's funny, even as a child, being very detail oriented, having an entrepreneurial spirit. I remember, I always say my first event I planned, I was like 12 years old, planning a birthday party for my mother. And I did all the cleaning, the cooking, the decorating, though I did leave the gizzards in the Cornish hens and we couldn't eat them. I was only 12, but so I always say I kind of had that gatherer's anointing even as a child, wanting to bring the family together and bring everybody together to celebrate milestones and things of that nature.
Oh, wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, are you a original Delawarean?
I am born and raised right here in Newcastle, Delaware.
In Newcastle,
Yes.
okay. And what school did you go to?
Yeah. I went to high school. I went to Concord High School.
Oh, Concord, okay.
Yes, graduated from Concord
That's
High School.
excellent. Did you go on to college or anything? Or
I did, Delaware Tech Community College.
Oh, you went to Delaware Tech,
yeah,
okay.
where I'm
Excellent.
actually an adjunct instructor, let me say that.
Oh, wow.
Where I teach the Wedding and Event Planning Certificate Program at Del Tech.
Oh, so I can go there and get my certificate in
Yes,
planning.
so a lot of event planners in Delaware, they've probably been through my program, and I've probably mentored them throughout the years as well. I've been doing that for over 5 years now.
Oh, that's excellent. That's
Yes.
excellent. So you're adjunct professor there and went there as well. And this is just super. So when we talk about family, in your own words, what does family mean to you?
Family means to me life,
Okay.
right? Whereas everything that I'm made up of, right, and even how Tiffany is today still stems from family. My entrepreneurial spirit from my grandfather, who was an entrepreneur, from my mother, who was an entrepreneur. My love for details and organizing and planning events comes from my father, who, beknownst to me, wanting even to do event planning, not knowing that he was very detail oriented, always plan events and gatherings back in the 70s, for his friends and things of that nature. So I really feel like family is life. Family is what we're made of. Family is, they say family over everything, or family is is everything. And I truly believe that the bond that you create with your family really helps you build your character, your morals, and even the traditions that will follow on from generation to generation.
Awesome. And you know, when you were speaking, I was thinking about when I wrote my thesis for my divinity master's degree, I discovered that there's generational blessings and curses.
Sure is.
And sometimes people think about only talk about the curses.
Right.
But there are also blessings. And when you were talking about how all your relatives, family members were different planners and things of that nature, it showed me that that's a blessing that comes down through the generations.
Exactly.
Wow. And then now Alex is kicking up on it too.
Yes, he is, right.
Awesome.
I tell he's going to take the reins of the event company. He didn't know that yet, right? But I feel like he is.
That's just
But he has an entrepreneurial spirit. I always say I'm a third generation entrepreneur. So it's been passed down. And again, very young, when you see your family doing things, you know, you want to be right underneath of them and learn and do. And that's the great thing. Like even with my grandfather, he allowed us to see like how the business ran behind the scenes and able to learn a lot about running a business and what it took at a very young age.
So what you said 3 generations, so what other kind of, what were the businesses?
My mother owned a daycare for 22 years.
Oh, wow, excellent.
Yes,
Bless her heart.
yeah,
We love those who own daycares.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome. So, Tiffany, as we look at family and we try to, we have people who watch us, and they've heard what you shared, how it's life, it's everything for you.
Right.
If there was some advice you would give people as we're ready to move into, you know, the career that you have chosen, but just you're African American,
right.
you're a woman, all of the strikes are against you,
right.
but you were successful with family.
Right.
What kind of advice could you give somebody else?
I think just one, learning work-life balance is really important when it comes to family and being an entrepreneur or aspiring after your dreams. So learning to balance those things out, again, still weighing the importance of family, setting a schedule where you can kind of, and you fall off of your schedule, but where you can really balance those things out. And just really being open with your family. Like, I'm really big on setting goals, right? As a family, as an individual, as a business. So, you know, I have family goals for me and my husband and my family. I have goals for my business, then I have goals individually. So really sitting down, even talking what the goals are out with the family for yourself, so everyone can kind of be in alignment, all on the same page, working towards the one main goal. You know, one of the main goals is to build generational wealth, right?
Okay.
Who does not want to build generational wealth? Build a legacy, right? For your family, right? So my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, even when I'm no longer on this earth, they'll know, okay, that was really important to Grandmom Tiff. Volunteerism, right? So I feel like the legacy supersedes past what you may do as an entrepreneur, but just your life itself and being able to speak for yourself and just your family being one unit, being all on one accord. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, and always seeking the Father first in everything that you do.
Yeah, absolutely, because that is the foundation.
Yes.
And I'm sitting here and I'm just really eating it up because people will be asking, you know, she does so much, but yet it is important that they know you have really built a strong family and you come from a very strong family foundation.
Yeah. I don't make solid business decisions without I have my own personal advisory, right? And my husband is the lead of that. Though he's not in the industry, he's very tapped into the industry because of me, and I pull him in. We're one. You know what? We're together. So whatever segment of the industry I serve in, he wants to be abreast of that so we can pray about it together, and he can have the knowledge in the spirit and in the natural as well to advise me as the head of our home, right? That does not just mean in our home. To me, it means what my covenant, my marriage is my business as well. And I need to hear his voice just like I need to hear, you know, a business mentor's voice when it comes to my business.
You know, and I would say this, those who are watching us, to hear you who is successful in your business, because oftentimes women tend to be treated as weak when they understand the covenant of a marriage.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you have a boss. It means you are in a covenant relationship. And for you to be able to submit to that, that is awesome. And I just wanted to take that moment to say thank you for showing that you can be strong, you can be successful, but you understand the covenant of your relationship. And for you to share that, you know, he's a part of that.
Yes.
And I'm sure if he was to talk, he's saying you are part of his. That's the same because it is a covenant.
It is a covenant.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yep.
What is it that your husband? What does he do?
My husband, he's actually a conductor for Norfolk and Southern Railroad.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so y'all all busy.
Yes, we are.
And still have a very successful family.
Yeah, it's the balance, you know. It's setting that time. Like, let's talk about marriage and relationships. We still need to go out on dates. You know, we still need to have date night, right?
I like that.
You still need to court me, right?
Okay.
Like you did 20 plus years ago, right? When we first met. Like, courting should never stop in a relationship. And even if it's ordering out and watching a show on Netflix, that's like our time. Phone on do not disturb, you know, whatever, you have to make that happen, and you have to be intentional about that. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, where we don't create the balance with our family, and sometimes your family can end up hating your business, right? Because now you're prioritizing your business more than your family, because we get in this hustle hard, and you know, you always have to hustle. And I believe you hustle for certain seasons in your business, and then there's something that you call when you scale your business, where you're not hustling 24/7 to grow this business. Mm-hmm. Now you've grown it to a certain point, you scale this business, and you can prioritize things a lot more to create that balance that you need with your family.
How do you, and this is the last question I'm asking in this area, how do you, or what advice do you give, because I'm sure everything has not always been easy in family. How do you weather through uneasy moments with family?
Right. Prayer. Definitely prayer, you know, and sometimes I feel like, and this is something I had to learn, especially when you're very giving and you're looked at the strong person in the family, that a lot of people weigh on a lot. So even when you're going through those weathering times where you may need the support as you're yet trying to support everyone else, I learned what you might say, put family in the right place in your heart. Okay. Right? So putting them in the right place in the heart is knowing that people are human, and not always putting that same expectation, you know, on family that you may have, or not always expect them to do what you may do, because everyone is different. Absolutely. And once I learned that, even going through some trying and weathering times, again, I take all things in prayer. I got to be honest, right? And I learned to pick my battles. Sometimes pray and don't say anything, and then sometimes it's the time to address it.
Okay, great. Well, we've had an opportunity to start off by just talking about family, and I'm just in awe because she gave us a counseling session. She did a little bit of everything in there, but that's what happens when you have a successful person, not just public, but also private. We're gonna take a commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna really start talking about the trajectory to her getting to where she is as it relates to the entrepreneurship. We'll be right back.
In today's Black XList presentation, we will highlight the top 10 cities for African American entrepreneurs.
Welcome to BlackExcellist.com, the site where we celebrate Black excellence, opulence, and affluence. Our mission is to inspire you as we enlighten you.
As entrepreneurship in America continues to rise, cities such as DC, Atlanta, and even Memphis have become great places to cultivate new ideas and companies. African Americans currently own about 2.5 million businesses today, which reflects a 60% increase in Black businesses since 2002. And although challenges still remain, Black entrepreneurs are still innovating and making waves in their respective industries every day. If you're a Black entrepreneur and you don't live in one of the following 10 cities, you might want to consider relocating. Just kidding. But our research does reveal that there is a very strong minority leadership in these 10 cities, as they demonstrate significant business growth, strong cultural ties, and impressive opportunities to understand African American communities. Additionally, all of these entrepreneurial hubs have very successful professional programs, hands-on training, and Black chambers of commerce to help boost entrepreneurship. In this original Black XList video, we will be featuring the top 10 cities for African American entrepreneurs. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. Memphis, Tennessee. Memphis dethroned Atlanta as the best metro area for Black-owned business. Memphis has the lowest unemployment rate of the top 10 cities, and the city has its own Black Business Association. Memphis has a lot going for itself. In addition to music, film, and TV, Memphis excels in bioscience, green industry, and manufacturing. Number 2. Montgomery, Alabama. Montgomery has the highest percentage of Black businesses nationwide. Black-owned businesses are supported by the Alabama State Black Chamber of Commerce and Montgomery's Chamber of Commerce Minority Business Development Task Force. Montgomery has an extensive service industry, wholesale and retail trade, and a thriving industrial base that all contribute to the city's vibrant and well-balanced economic environment. Number 3. Atlanta, Georgia. With the second highest percentage of African Americans with college degrees, Atlanta is definitely one of America's most educated and fastest-growing cities. As it expands, jobs and opportunities will continue to wildly increase. Most of the economic vitality can be contributed to its thriving entertainment industry as it adds to its prosperity. While no longer holding the number 1 spot for the greatest metro area for Black businesses, Atlanta remains a powerful enclave for Black entrepreneurs. Number 4. Washington, D.C. The nation's capital toots the highest median income for Black residents nationwide and the highest growth rate of business startups over the last 5 years. Black entrepreneurs receive support from the National Black Chamber of Commerce, the Northern Virginia Black Chamber of Commerce, and BizLaunch, an entrepreneurship program. Ranking as one of the best-paying and millennial-friendly cities, DC is the place to rub elbows and do business with some of America's most influential people. Number 5. Savannah, Georgia. Savannah's rich jazz legacy attracts tourism, which has bolstered much of the Black business ownership in the oceanside city. The coastal city has significant industrial and economic activity. Besides the port, manufacturing, military, and tourism are important economic drivers for Black business owners in the city. It is also an important Black cultural hub, and the city's unique ambiance and transportation infrastructure make it an attractive place to live and do business.
We welcome your comments, thoughts, and insights. Feel free to comment below.
Number 6. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Baton Rouge's petrochemical industry has driven much of its business, as it has the 4th largest refinery in the U.S. and 10th largest in the world. Considered a university town because of Louisiana State University, Baton Rouge makes available lots of valuable resources for entrepreneurs. It boasts a host of resources, from business incubators to technology parks, and a number of already established entrepreneurs. Number 7. Durham, North Carolina. Fueled by the country's largest research park, Research Triangle Park, and generations of results-driven entrepreneurs, Durham is a thriving Black business hub and entrepreneurial community. The Bull City has successfully transformed its 20th century business landscape, largely based on tobacco and textile products, to a thriving technology and research economy. A rich creative culture of artists, brewers, writers, and restaurants add yet another flavor of entrepreneurship. Number 8. Baltimore, Maryland. Although Baltimore took a financial hit with the loss of many manufacturing jobs, the survival of small businesses has increased in the last 5 years. The Baltimore Office of Sustainability offers support for Black entrepreneurs, having different programs specifically tailored for a variety of ideas. The city benefits from 2 things: commuters and the Chamber of Commerce. Commuters passing through provide consistent and steady business, while the Chamber provides cheap advertisement and many state incentives for businesses. Number 9. Miami, Florida. Miami and the Fort Lauderdale area has experienced the best of 3 worlds in the last 2 years. 1. Median annual income for Black residents has increased significantly. 2. Cost of living index has decreased. And 3. Unemployment has also decreased. Besides this, Miami is ranked in first place nationwide in startup activity. Its entrepreneurial spirit is quite high. For every 100 people, there are 14 Black or minority-owned businesses. Number 10. Richmond, Virginia. With the second highest average annual revenues for Black-owned businesses, Richmond's history of Black entrepreneurship secured its inclusion on this top 10 list. The Jackson Ward neighborhood is commonly referred as the birthplace of Black capitalism and is considered the second Black Wall Street after the Greenwood District in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
We're back. Well, it has been wonderful thus far, and I'm just excited to continue on. We've got a chance to know Tiffany. Now, let's get to know Miss Chalk, because that's the one who's the entrepreneur, who certainly is the professional. Miss Chalk, I guess I'll change it to Miss Chalk now.
That's fine.
Just tell us, you left high school. What did you start doing, and kind of lead us up to, I want to own my own business?
Okay. So as I previously said, I always kind of had that entrepreneurial spirit where I kind of knew like if certain things I would, let's just say side hustles, right?
Yeah.
You know, that led to owning my own business. And I love the beauty industry. Yeah. So I decided to go to cosmetology school to be a nail tech. So that's how it first started. So being a nail tech, I was what they would call independent contractor, rent my own booth. So ultimately, you're buying your own supplies, setting your own schedule. Right. You know, you're housed in someone else's salon, but everything else that you do, you're basically running your own business. Mm-hmm. So that's how it initially started. In the beauty industry, I was a nail tech for 17 years. Mm-hmm. Even in that realm, I always wanted to excel, to be the best. Mm-hmm. Won many accolades, won many awards, magazine shoots, mm-hmm. things of that nature, even in the beauty industry. So I transitioned and went into more of a management in the beauty industry, managing a salon and spa in Kennett Square, mm-hmm. and basically doing everything, right? You know, full management. It was 36 employees, doing everything but writing the checks, running the payroll, but not writing the checks, so, you know, as far as that management was concerned. And literally it took time for me to be off of work for medical reasons for about 6 months, and shared with my husband. I felt like, you know, I wanted to go back to something of my own that I was passionate about. I had really grown so much, not to take away from my time at the salon in Kennett, but I was really empowered, and I learned even more about how to run a business there, though I was running it for someone else, right? Right. So I truly believe what you make happen for someone else, God will make happen for you. And I feel like I was in that season, in that pocket, and with the support of my husband, he's like, okay, give him your 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, really? You know, what about my income? You know, things of that nature. I gave 2 weeks, would turn into 6 weeks, and I went back to school, Temple University, to get certified in event management. Okay. And then I launched my business. May, I actually just celebrated 14 years this past May that I launched a business. So that's kind of like how the business started. Now, you said you went to Temple. Can I have a little bit about that program? So it was a continuing education program at Temple. It was 6 months. Certification, just to learn the ins and out of event management, logistics. So a lot of people think, you know, they walk into an event or a wedding or a conference and it looks beautiful, the stage is nice, it's beautiful, but they don't know the behind the scenes of running the logistics, or even how to run a business properly, like what business entity you need to set up, you know, things of that nature. So when you were at Temple, do you think you learned more, because you had the zeal and the will to do certain things, but do you think once you went to Temple you were able to pull stuff together? So in all honesty, I felt like it was 50-50, right? Because I already had the knowledge, you know, from my family and other jobs that I had. So it gave me a different outlook on the events industry, but I really had a lot of the knowledge for the foundations of business overall. So now we are the planner. Right. And can you remember your first event? I do. It was a baby shower for one of my girlfriends. Tell me a little bit about that. Sometimes that's a catastrophe or a blessing. So. It wasn't bad, honestly. It was a small baby shower for about 50 people. It was at the clubhouse in the development she lives in, and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm starting this business. Let me do this event. It was a pink bear theme. Like I literally remember everything, and it was. I have to be honest. It was a nice event. It was nothing bad happened. Yeah, it ran smoothly. Now, what was one of your larger events? One of probably some of the largest events that I helped manage were the Delphi's Hope Celebrities softball games. As you know, 3,000 plus attendees. Yeah. It could be all the basketball players managing 10 to 12 celebrities flying in and out. So that was very, very logistic heavy as far as larger events. And I did that for 6 years. Yeah, that's where I met you doing that. Yeah. And now, when you are dealing with your business, tell us a little bit about the business, where it is now, well, where it was and where it is now, and if there's been some add-ons. Right. So there definitely has been some add-ons. My love for planning stems. I just love it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So through that, I wanted to also, because I want to give back, I started mentoring because I'm a big fan of mentoring. Having mentors in my life and business has really changed the trajectory of my business and allowed me to grow, allowed me to be able to scale my business where I don't have to be at every event and be in the forefront of the business as I always have been. So the journey has grown from just being the event planner to the event expert. I'm an international speaker. I've spoken everywhere from California to South Africa in the events industry. Then, because planning comes with organization and details, and I've always been a lover of paper and all things stationery, I had in the back burner that I wanted to add some organization to the company as well. So last year I launched Simply TC Designs, which is an online stationery boutique where we actually have planner notepads, actually daily planners, journals, checklists, things of that nature. So we're still keeping you organized now, but not just your events. We're kind of keeping you organized in your life now.
Yeah, and then you brought some of those items with you.
Sure did.
So let's go through them so that people will know.
I bought some of our best sellers.
Okay.
One is our meeting minutes notepad. We actually just launched a larger size for that. So here.
Is this for me? Or?
Yes, that is definitely for you.
All right.
So the meeting minutes notepad is just a way to streamline. We all have been on these Zoom meetings for a long time, right? This past year. So it's really a way to streamline your meetings and taking notes for your meetings.
Okay.
And then we have our Let's Do This notepad. It's a planner pad. So here you can checklist what you have done, what do you need to get done, where you need to be, what you're grateful for. Keep track of your water. Self-care is really important when you're managing your day as well. So just some notes on what your self-care could be. I myself personally have been for the past 2 years on a healthy lifestyle journey, Dr. Curry, whereas I've lost 70 pounds.
I was going, yes.
So I've lost 70 pounds and I've adapted a new lifestyle, not a diet. So, and what's best for me is I was able to maintain it over, the past 2 years because now it's a lifestyle change. So through my new lifestyle, healthy lifestyle change, I launched the Let's Get Physical Daily Fitness Journal, whereas I track my goals and my fitness that I do, whatever that might be. And I just really found that documenting my journey really had me look back on the milestones that was really important to me, like through this journey. So that's how this launched as well. And then we also just launched our grocery checklist.
All right.
Right? No more going to the grocery store hungry, right? Make your checklist before you go. So I brought this for you too, I don't know if you or Lady Curry,
Both.
whoever goes,
Both.
right? So
But
I
she
bought
needs it
this.
more because
right.
she comes back with everything that she don't
So I bought this
need.
for you too. So just that's Simply TC Designs. I'm so excited about that. Again, like just really helping people organize their lives and have planned and productive days. I feel like when your days are planned, they're more productive.
And they are. Now, let's take a moment, and I just want you, if somebody's watching, they want to go to your website or contact you because you are an outstanding planner, and now you're helping us to organize our lives. They want you to speak at their events, women's ministries. Why don't you tell them real quickly how to communicate with Tiffany?
So you can find me at www.tiffanychalkevents.com. It's the same on Instagram and on Facebook. For our stationery boutique, you can find it at www.simplytcdesigns.com. But I will say, in the process of bringing all the brands together for one lifestyle website and one lifestyle blog that will show the events, Tiffany Chalk the speaker, Tiffany Chalk the educator, Simply TC Designs. And we'll be launching that next month, and that will be simplytiffanychalk.com.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of where we're going in this process.
Now, for my seniors, because we do have a strong following of seniors, do you have a telephone number
Yep, we
that
do.
they can communicate?
Our telephone number is 302-743-7545.
Try that one more time.
302-743-7545.
Yeah, I actually do that because I can see that senior like, oh wait, but she said it too fast.
Right.
So I want to make sure that
Thank you for that. I don't want to forget about the seniors.
Amen. And you'll see it on your screen as well, that the phone number is there as well as the website.
Right.
Because I want them to communicate with you. I know you're busy, but what you said a few minutes ago, I want to make sure people understand that even though she's busy, she doesn't have to, she will make sure your event is right, but she have other people who help her. So she does have, you have time for more clients.
I do. We do have time for more clients.
Okay.
Definitely do.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that's important. I wanted to make sure that
It is.
when they hear how
It
busy
is.
you are,
Yeah.
sometimes they want the person, but it will be as if the person is there because I'm sure you train
Right.
people.
So that's the beauty of when you learn to scale your business and build a solid brand, right? Whereas you have a team of people where your events or your business should run smoothly. Like, I should be able to walk into said bakery, let's just give that example, and expect the same taste and the feel from the cup that I get, regardless if the owner is the bakery is there or is not. And that's how I like to run my events. My clients will tell you, oh, we love Chanel, we love Sonia, you know, we love Stephanie, we love Brooke, whoever it may be who might be working that event, and it doesn't miss a beat because they still represent the Tiffany Chalk brand in the way that I desire. Yeah. So it's like cultivating, you know, your team, your same core values. That's why I have a lot of people, you know, who know me and want to work for me and work with me, and I take everybody through like a trial period because who Tiffany Chalk is as a person directly relates to who Tiffany Chalk is as a brand, and it has to line up with my core values in order for me to trust you with my brand.
Okay, good. Now you had said, I heard you say Chanel. Is that Chanel Cyber?
It is.
So she's still with you?
Chanel, yes. I will fly Chanel in to do events with me. Chanel has first started work with me in 2012, and it's kind of, even though she's not in this area anymore, she's so good, and she can. It's nothing like when you find somebody that can think like you, and it's 2 steps ahead of you when it comes to how you run your business. And Chanel has just been that person for me, so I can't quite get rid of her yet. So I will fly her wherever it might be. Last year I flew her to St. Louis and she worked an event for me. Actually, I have something later on in the year in Florida, and I'm going to fly her up from the area she's in to where my event is at.
Because I'm paying close attention to what you're sharing, and when you said Chanel, I said, I wonder, because I know she worked with you at one point, but I'm glad you said that because my birthday just passed, and Chanel has always, I was her pastor before she left to go to Florida. I was her pastor up until that point.
Right.
And she's always given me conflicts for my birthday. This is the first year, Chanel. You didn't give me no conflict, but I am even wearing some of the conflicts that she's giving me because she's very much on the spot, even as a minister here at our church. She's always been that strong voice. She was the person that was in charge of the singles ministry. It was called oh man!
Cafe?
Yeah. Exclusively God's Cafe, and so she does have that spirit. So that's great. So at least we were able to get out. So that you
see how the core values for the business line up. Because listen, we pray for our clients, right? We stand in the gap for our clients. It's much more than when you book Tiffany Chalk events. It's much more than we're just facilitating your events, right? We build relationships, you know, and that's how we get the repeat business. A lot of our business is a sort of referrals because a lot of our clients end up becoming like family, right? If we do, you know, I've done corporate events for people, so now outside of the corporate events, now I'm doing their personal events, and I'm doing, you know, their other family members events, because now we've just built this, you know, Tiffany Chalk events community.
So if a person wanted to start up a family reunion, would you be a good resource to help to hire to get that going?
Yes, my event company, we do all type of events, social events, family reunions, weddings, corporate events. When I first started the business in 2007, we were more nonprofit and corporate events, and then when the market shifted about 2009 from, I say quote unquote, the recession that was happening at that time, where businesses were not outsourcing the way that they used to, I kind of shifted. My good one of my best buddies and mentors, she always says in business, sometimes you have to adapt or die, right? So learning to adapt when the market shifts, that's not failure, right? When you adapt, right? And you shift your business model, you have to adapt, because some businesses I know didn't come out of that
That's right.
2009
That's right.
recession when they were doing corporate events. So I was able to adapt my business model and put social events in the forefront and kind of ride that wave. And then when corporations were outsourcing a little bit more, bring back, the corporate segment of my business as well.
That's great, and I say that because of our seniors who want to bring their family reunions to their location, but they don't want to do all that planning.
Yes.
And all they have to do is call you and hire you, and you will be able to do that for them. This is just wonderful, and I'm glad to see that you have done well. And I'm going to take my items, but there was another one over there that you said.
Which one?
I think I forget that the one where you said
Let's do
that
this.
one. That one. I'll take that
Take
too.
that too.
On the air, I wanted to make sure I got that before, because she'll say no after
Take
she's
that.
done.
No, I wouldn't say no. I bought plenty. I bought plenty.
But I love Let's Do This is the one that when you said that, I thought you were going to hand it to me. You
Yes,
didn't. I said,
yeah.
that's the one I really want, because it has all the elements there. And this is
Yeah.
just wonderful. I mean, you have really done so well with your business, and I'm very happy. And I'm glad that people are getting a chance to see the Tiffany, the Miss Chalk, so that so that they can be able to understand that you can do it. It can be
Yes.
done. I like that shift. How you say you either shift or you die. I forgot the language.
Adapt or die, right?
Adapt or die.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's important as well.
is.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back, and when we come back this time, I'm just going to talk about what's next for Tiffany.
Okay.
And we want to talk about a few fun things, because I know that you even did some work with my wife as a volunteer.
Yes.
So you're the entrepreneur, you're the philanthropist, you do whatever you got to do to augment the lives of people. And I just want to talk about that. So we'll be right back.
Sometimes you need to get knocked down before you can really figure out what your fight is and how you need to fight it. Sometimes you need to feel the pain and sting of defeat to activate the real passion and purpose that God predestined inside of you. God says in Jeremiah, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Hear me well on this day. This day when you have reached the hilltop and you are deciding on next jobs, next steps, careers, further education. You would rather find purpose than a job or a career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it. If it's meant for you, God will move someone that's holding you back away from a door and put someone there who will open it for you. I don't know what your future is, but if you're willing to take the harder way, the more complicated one, the one with more failures at first than successes, the one that has ultimately proven to have more meaning, more victory, more glory, then you will not regret it. Press on with pride and press on with purpose and appreciate what God has brought you through.
And we're back. Well, this has been a phenomenal, I keep saying it because I'm just so impressed with our sister Tiffany, as well as her business and what she does for the community. And I hope that you will take serious an opportunity to either purchase some of her items to help organize your personal life or utilize her service for the things that you are doing. Because why stress over all of the things all the details when you can hire someone and it'll be done in a very professional way? I watched her handle thousands of people and with celebrities, and you know how they could be grand and important and you know, you do it, you got to do it this way or the whatever, but you were able to do it. You keep your calm, and I was impressed with that. But I want to just, as we're coming to the close of this time together, I really want to know what's next for Tiffany.
So what's next for Tiffany is to continue to build, like I said, an overall lifestyle brand, like Tiffany Chalk, the brand, which will consist of Tiffany Chalk events, as we talked about, Simply TC Designs. But I want people to get to see a little bit more up close and personal Tiffany Chalk, you know, the wife, the mother, you know, the community health advocate. Really for 2021 and going into 2022, the work that I do with the Delaware Healthy Mother and Infant Consortium by leading the Well Women and Black Maternal Health work group, just really putting that in the forefront. You know, what we've learned, the alarming rates of the disproportion of the racial disparities in healthcare, especially in Black maternal health, is alarming in our state. You know, just the fact that Black women are 2 times more than likely to die giving birth, and Black babies are, you know, 2 to 3 times more likely to die within their first year of life is very alarming, right? And I myself have been a part of that statistic. I've had a son have been a part of that statistic, which is the passion behind the work that I do. So I further want to do work in that area, really help. I have some great colleagues, April Lyons, Representative Melissa Minor Brown, Councilwoman Shanae Darby from Black Women's Empower. Like, we are really, you know, on a grassroots level trying to bring awareness to this Black maternal health epidemic, because that's what it is in our state of Delaware, really pushing some legislatives through as far as doulas is concerned, and just really, you know, empowering women to be their own advocates even in their health care. That's really important. And not sure when this is going to be aired, but we have some great things coming up for Black Breastfeeding Week. That's the end of August as well. So you can check out www.dethrives.com. I'll say that again, dethrives.com, for more information about the work we do for the Delaware Healthy Mother Infant Consortium for Black maternal health. So that's very near and dear to my heart, and the time that I put into that, sometimes people don't know, right? So I feel like people need to see that part of Tiffany outside of the entrepreneurship, because that's really a part of the heartbeat of Tiffany as well, just to really be that community advocate in that space.
Wow. And is this approved by the governor? Or?
Right. So the Delaware Healthy Mother Infant Consortium is the governor-appointed board, where I serve as a governor-appointed member as the board. And the subcommittee underneath of the board that I lead is Well Women and Black Maternal Health.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. And you said it's significantly disproportionate.
It is. It really is. It's sad, you know, because the times that we live in, I think, you know, the last year, what happened with George Floyd really brought a highlight to, you know, some of the racism that we still experience here in our state. And it's in our healthcare as well, right? Yeah. So what we as Black people have to learn is we have to educate ourselves. I'm really big on educating consumers. So prevention and education is key when it comes to kind of dispelling some of the racism that you may experience in healthcare. So this is where community events is really important, just getting the knowledge where you can speak up for yourself, because a lot of times when women are in those birthing situations and they don't have a doula, or they don't even have a significant other there with them who can really speak up for them, that they know how to speak up for themselves. I myself have known through my own personal experience from being in that situation, being an uneducated consumer, the difference that it makes when I was an educated consumer and I was able to advocate for myself in those situations, regardless if this person has a medical degree and I don't, right? It's still my body and my life, and I should be able to advocate for myself.
Yeah, well, that is so true. And all too often, I guess we have not been informed appropriately.
Exactly.
And sometimes we have rejected some information, but for the most part, the information was not available.
Exactly.
And I'm glad to hear that you were appointed one and that you are serving in that area.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Let me turn a little bit and my wife, first let me just say that she is excited that I was half asleep when I was telling her that you would be on the show, and she got excited that you were there, because she said, "Oh no, she comes to all of our women's teas
Yes.
and do and judge the tables. Are you the judge that people don't like?"
I don't know. I could be a little bit. What's the word I want to use? I could be. I don't want to say extra, but the table needs to be set a certain way for these teas, y'all. So I want to give y'all more points, but sometimes I just can't. So I can be a little strict, right? I can be a little stickler when it comes to that. But that is such a great event. I just really want to say, always thank Lady Curry for having me participate. And that is, if you guys have never attended the women's tea here at Ezon, that is a really, really great event, and it's a wonderful time. It really is.
I don't know if you got a chance to see, but they did one on Zoom.
Yes.
And I thought that was interesting. I didn't really see it to the level, but they pulled it off, so I was shocked. But that was a nice Zoom one that they had as well. But you have done so much, and I'm just so grateful. And the last thing I wanted to say when you first walked on set today, and I just said, I don't know if that's appropriate, but since you brought it out there, I'm going to go ahead and go there. You lost an enormous amount of weight.
Yes, I did.
And look great. I mean, you look great when you were larger, but it is just awesome. And how did this happen?
Thank you. So actually, I started with keto. Have you never heard of keto? No. So keto is a low carb diet, so to say. So I started doing keto, where I just managed my carbs and counted my calories and my macros until I really got into a rhythm with it. So I kind of live a low carb lifestyle. I work out. I try to work out at least 3 to 4 times a week. I always did it on my own. And then about earlier in the summer, I started working with a trainer, so I see him 2 times a week. Just to really, it was about maintenance. I always knew how to lose weight, right? Get it off, but I never kept it off, right? So it was about the key to, okay, how can you really change your lifestyle? So through being able to still eat things that I like, everything in moderation, and just moving. Like sometimes, as long as I walk so many miles a day or so many steps, just really getting in that rhythm that worked for me. And so now a lot of my family have now adopted a low carb lifestyle. And again, it was really maintaining that for me. So yes, am I still gonna eat a cupcake? Yes, everything in moderation.
It's good to hear we can still eat a cupcake, because that's my biggest problem. But I agree with you. I can lose the weight, but keeping it off is. In fact, we just did a biggest loser challenge here now. Okay. So I was putting in the data, because we weigh in every Monday. Right. And I was putting in the data, and it's funny because the last time we had one, I was at a certain pounds. Right. We just had it, and I saw how much weight I lost. Right. We just started up again, and I'm back at the same place where I was the last time. Right. And I guess I'll lose the weight again. But you said something key. How do you keep it off?
Yeah, maintaining, right.
And that's
so it's consistent. So like making those right choices. Like, even for COVID, I traveled a lot because I did events all over. So it was like, still, okay, Tiff, you're on the road. You got 4 events across, the United States in the next 6 months. What choices are you going to make? So I had to think about, making wise choices even when I was out on the road. Or sometimes you're working in events and you're out 10, 12 hours a day working the event. So I started packing my nuts and my protein bars and things of that nature, where I won't grab the chips, or something that nature. So I can keep going, still doing what I'm doing, but I have things readily. And preparation, I always say preparation is not lost time. Right. So, trying to prep out your meals. Hey, using your grocery checklist, right? As you're planning out your meals, really helped me be able to maintain. So I wanted to go through the first year of, the weight loss. And then I said I want to do 6 months and not try real hard, and then see if I was able to maintain just making better choices than I was. So then after that, I was like, okay, right now I'm in the realm where I just want to tighten some things up and kick it up and maybe lose a little bit more, but still maintaining at the same time.
Awesome. This is just awesome. Yeah. Listen, we have come to the end of a great time. It was worth us pursuing you, trying to get you on the show, because you have certainly been our counselor. You have been our pastor. You have been our expert in the marriage area. And most of all, you have shown us what it looks like to be African American, a woman, and still love God. Right. And I think out of all that you do, you are all of those persons, but you still have a heart for God, and I really appreciate that so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
If there's one thing, 2 things, or 3 things you would like to share with those who are watching us today, this is your time.
Right. So I would say, go after your heart's desires.
Yeah.
If there's some things that you've been putting on the back burner, or you think you don't know enough, start it. Like, the best place to do it is to just do it and like get started. Write out a plan, get you a mentor, pay somebody, invest in your business, or invest in your passion or what you want to do. Don't just say, okay, I'm going to pick somebody's brain. Like, sow into what you will want people to sow back into you.
Excellent.
Right? And just do it.
Yeah, that's
just do
excellent.
it.
That's excellent. Because all too often we don't like to sow and we just give me your opinion and then we try to run and make it
Right.
happen. But in actuality, to see it come to reality is important.
Right.
Well, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
But before I let you go, I need you one more time to tell us, how do we communicate with Tiffany?
How do you communicate with Tiffany Chalk? Okay, www.tiffanychalkevents.com, area code 302-743-7545.
Well, that's all. This is all that she wrote. She's been a great blessing to us today, and I hope that you'll get an opportunity. Don't forget that she has some things that can help organize your life and even help organize your business, organize you as a professional. To all of our younger people who are really trying to do well and to succeed in what you're doing, you may want to just call her and see how she can help you. Or for those of you who want somebody to speak at your organizations to bring a better organization to your organization, she will be available to help you, or she'll have someone to help you. Thank you so very much. We'll be right back.
He did it before, he could do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and I won't give in. No, I'm not gonna turn around. Yeah, I know I win if I don't give up now. I am waiting for my change to come, and I know he will come through. And this is how I'm so sure. If he did it before, he'd do it again. Same God right now.
And we're back. Well, it has been certainly an outstanding interview with Miss Tiffany Chalk. I am excited and I'm very grateful that we had the opportunity to sit down. I watched her from afar. She's done things even here at Zion Fair, but what I watched her doing her work with the Duffy Hope, being a part of the board at some point, it is important for those of you who are watching to see that in our community, we have everything that we need. Whatever we need, we have a professional who have done it and is doing it well. She is a great example of that, and I'm excited. She belonged to the Antioch Christian Church, and I'm grateful for her pastor as well as for what she's doing. When she talked about her husband and her family, that was very special to me, because all too often we believe the only way we can be successful is we are independent. But she showed us you can be a public success and a private success, because both of them matter. It speaks to character. So I hope you enjoyed the show today, and I hope you will take a full advantage of the services that she has. Don't just watch these shows. Make sure you are going out and you're saying to those individuals, look, I want to help plant in your ministry, because that's what it is. And as you heard her speak, it is a ministry to her. She does this unto the Lord, but she's serving and she's able to profit off of it as well. But it's grateful. I'm very grateful for her, and I hope that you will take the time to call her, get her on board with your teams, and at the end of the day, make sure you are a blessing to those who are a blessing to the kingdom of God. Thank you so much for the time that we shared together, and I'll see you next week. God bless.